My review of House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski so far. It's going to be part one of a review series as I make my way through House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski over the next month and a half. And so far, I have a lot of thoughts. The book has been on my TBR for well over a decade. Like, I've only owned it physically for a couple of years, but it's been on my mental TBR for probably, again, close to a decade, and I'm now finally starting to read it. I started this at the beginning of October, and I have so far just read the Naven's File. I have not read any of the footnotes. And that was just because I started reading it the way it's supposed to be read, so I read the main storyline and along with the footnotes, but I was getting confused. Once I realized I was getting confused, I restarted and just started reading the Navenson File, and that took me almost the entire month of October to read. It took me a while, and it's not because I wasn't liking the book. I'm really loving this so far, guys. It's not the book's fault. It's totally a me thing. I'm a very busy person, and it takes me a while to read big books like this sometimes. And with how complex this story is, I wasn't entirely surprised. I hit the 150-page mark, however, I flew through the rest of the book. Like, it was no big deal. I read the rest of the book after the 150-page mark within maybe an entire week. I've read the Navenson File and really, really loved it. I am going back and reading the footnotes. So I'm reading the main storyline again with the editorial footnotes. And I am now, if you guys can look at my bookmarks, so this one is where I left off with just the Navenson record. This one is where I am with my reread with the editorial footnotes. And then the last one is the appendices that I am going back again and referring to as the story goes along. Once I do this read of the book with just the editorial footnotes, I'm going to go back one more time and then also read it with Johnny's footnotes and get Johnny's side of the story in this book. That's all I have so far. I'm really, really liking this, guys. It might be one of my favorite books of the year and maybe one of my favorite books of all time, but we'll see how it all wraps up. And yeah, stay tuned for part 2 in the near future.